In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
And then I saw her face. I'm a believer.
Shrek, what donkey? We gotta talk about your eating habits. You've been eating too many carbs. So what, donkey? Well, first of all, it's not healthy for you, Shrek. And second of all, have you ever heard of Jimmy Moore's new project called KetoWhiteboard.info?
No, I don't think so.
This virtual library of 60-second whiteboard videos explain low-carb, high-fat, ketogenic diet concepts in easy-to-understand language that even an ogre can easily understand.
Really?
Really? It's really something for keto newbies. You'll be tripping over yourselves like a babe in the woods to see these fun educational videos.
And what's the website, donkey?
That's KetoWhiteboard.info. Forget the waffles. I eat keto. So in the morning, I'm making bacon and
I
eggs.
saw her face. I'm a believer.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website, and here's how the fun begins. We start off over on Instagram, so go follow me there. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can actually engage live in the content, just like all these people coming in right now. Thank you guys for being here with the live edition of Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, it's all good. We do have this on replay for up to 24 hours over on Instagram. After 24 hours, it does disappear. So be sure to pop on over to YouTube. That's where we house all the past episodes of this here show in archived form. If you'll just type in keyword search Jimmy Rants, you will find the show. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show, it's in podcast form. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast over on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants is really one I didn't wish I had to do. But I think you guys that are in the alternative health, low carb, real food, ketogenic community, you need to know about something that has happened, and it ain't something good. So a lot of us have been talking online for many years, and we built up quite a following because of that. I've been out there for 15 years. There's been other sites that have been out there for a very long time, one of which I'm going to talk about here today. But there's people that talk alternative health. So we give information that runs counter to what the conventional wisdom says on things like diet and lifestyle types of things. And sometimes we say things like, well, grains are unhealthy, when conventional wisdom tells you they're incredibly healthy. We talk about how cholesterol numbers aren't the be-all, end-all in your health, and then conventional wisdom says cholesterol is all that you need to worry about in your health. But there's a sinister thing that's going on, and you need to know about it. What is that sinister thing? It's Google. So a few months ago, I did this whole Jimmy Rants all about Wikipedia and how they have basically targeted people that are anti-cholesterol hypothesis people. So that includes Jimmy Moore. Maria Emmerich was on that list. Whole bunch of people in the keto space that don't think cholesterol is the enemy in your health. They blacklisted us now from Wikipedia. You cannot find information about a lot of us on Wikipedia. And that happened several months ago. And it looked like it was a one-off. It looked like, all right, well, there's some editors at Wikipedia that didn't like what we were having to say, so they had us banned. Well, guess what? It's now moved to Google. So I'm going to read you a story here in just a minute, but the long and short of it is Google has changed their algorithm, and anybody that runs counter to the conventional wisdom on any given subject, you can no longer find their articles when you do a Google search, no matter how high in the rankings those particular posts were. So, for example, if I wrote a story about how high triglycerides are the real enemy in your health and not high LDL, that would get a lot of attention because of my following. And so when you type in high triglycerides or high LDL, mine would have come up in a search engine. Well, now, because of this new algorithm, they are countering and basically censoring that kind of information being shared. And I've seen a significant decline in my own website numbers. And so I know I'm one of the targets of this. But one of the biggest websites in the world, and I would probably argue the biggest health website in the world, is Mercola.com, MERCOLA.com. So this is run by a natural health advocate named Joe Mercola. And Joe's been out there for many years. I mean, he writes about all kinds of stuff that is the alternative viewpoints. You might remember he had a book a couple of years ago, Fat for Fuel, which was kind of one of the books that were out there in the keto world. I think he's got a new keto book that just came out, Keto Fasting or something. I forget what the name of it. Sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to mess up your book. But he is one of the ones that has seen a huge drop in his rankings. Guys, here is the Google traffic for Mercola.com. Here's what he was before they changed the algorithm. Then they changed the algorithm and look, crash. So the way this works is somebody does a Google search looking for information about cholesterol, or they're looking for information about thyroid health or gut health, and they're typing in keywords into a search engine. What the search engine does is, okay, what are people actually clicking on? And now let's give them those as the top results. And so Mercola has some incredible articles, and so his usually rank very, very high in the rankings. Well, now when you do those exact same searches, his isn't listed there at all. You don't see it. And so if you don't see it, you don't know it's there, you don't find it. So thus his traffic has taken a big hit. And so he's written an article that explains what happened, and it's not not just Dr. Mercola. It's Jimmy Moore, it's Dr. Kelly Brogan, another natural health person. It's probably a lot of the leaders in the natural health space that you know and love. We are all being targeted by this new algorithm that doesn't like it that we run counter to conventional wisdom. Silly, right? This is the extent, you guys, that they are going to try to silence us, try to keep us from getting our message out. Now, here's the thing. The uber fans of people like me and Dr. Mercola and Dr. Kelly Brogan and all these people that are being censored, you're going to find us. You're going to find us big time. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of us gain followers as a direct result of those Google searches. I can look in my stats and see very clearly that about 85% of my brand new people that show up to my website are doing it through a Google search of some keyword. I'll tell you, a big one for me was egg fast. When you put in egg fast in a Google search, you would find Jimmy Moore's post. And so a lot of people would look that up and they would find me. Try looking up egg fast now. You're not finding my website anymore. It's been blacklisted. So this is the reality. So let me read from Dr. Mercola's article. It's 16 pages, so I'm not going to read every single word because we would literally go over time here on Jimmy Rants, but I want to try to hit the highlights. So the major industries colluding to take over the government and government agencies include banking, military, agriculture, pharma, media, and big tech. And the leaders of all these industries have organized strategies to buy off the politicians through lobbying, regulating regulatory agencies, through revolving door hiring strategies, paid for media influence through advertising dollars. Remember that whole keto crotch nonsense that we did a Jimmy Rants on? That was a paid media influence through advertising dollars. Weight Watchers, Oprah, all of these companies had their advertising agencies kind of promulgate that hoax with keto crotch. It was a crock. Big tech has now joined the movement, bringing in a global concentration of wealth to eliminate competition and any critical voices, bringing awareness to the frightening future as our rights, freedoms, and competition erode into a fascist sunset, all disguised as a means to protect you from the misinformation. So this year alone, we have seen an unprecedented push to eliminate and censor all online platforms that do this, making it increasingly difficult to obtain and share crucial information all about health. If you've had difficulty finding articles from alternative health websites in Google lately, you're not alone. So again, if you're just joining us, there's a new Google search algorithm that's blacklisted various alternative health advocates. Yours truly is one of them. Dr. Joe Mercola from Mercola.com, MERCOLA.com, is the one that's posting about this. And he said Google traffic to Mercola.com plummeted 99% over just the past 3 weeks. And what happened was, beginning at the beginning of June, Google changed their broad core update, took effect actually June the 3rd, and it removed Mercola.com pages from all search results. The June 2019 Google Broad Core algorithm update impacted the rankings of websites in Google search engine results pages. Several aspects of the algorithm were changed, which caused some sites to gain visibility, while other ones lost a lot of visibility. Generally speaking, sites negatively impacted will see a drop in rankings for many or all of the most important keywords and key phrases which they ranked well for. This new update impacted sites across the web. However, I'm personally seeing the most impact on the health and news sites. So if some of your favorite sources for information on health are becoming increasingly difficult to find when you do a Google search, that's not by accident, guys. This is real. This is really, really happening. Anytime you hear a health-related search word into Google, or enter a health-related search word into Google, such as heart disease or type 2 diabetes, you will not find any Mercola.com articles in the search results, says Dr. Mercola in his article. The only way to locate those articles now is to put in the keyword like heart disease or keyword like type 2 diabetes along with Mercola.com. You can't even put like Mercola and those things. It still won't find it. You have to put Mercola.com. So for my website, you would have to put in the name of my website and then the keyword search, and then it would possibly find it. Crazy, right? Negative press by skeptics has also been upgraded, which means if you simply type in like my name, Dr. Mercola's name, none of the articles will come up, but what you'll find are all the negative articles voicing critiques against those people in searches. So again, type in a keyword Jimmy Moore. You're not going to find all my sites anymore. What you're going to find are people who have written negative things about Jimmy Moore. Same with Joe Mercola. Anytime that you enter in his name into a Google search, you won't find his stuff anymore. You'll find people talking smack about him. However, if you do it in Yahoo or Bing, you see all of the results that you used to see on Google. So guys, this is exclusively a Google thing. And I hope you're hearing this loud and clear. If you're still using Google to search the web, maybe it's time we switch over from using Google. If they're going to do an algorithm that is going to blacklist the very people that are providing good information from an alternative viewpoint from conventional wisdom, maybe it's high time we stop giving Google all those clicks. Maybe we give it to Yahoo. Maybe we give it to Bing or any of your other favorite browsers. This core update is when Google makes several changes to their main core algorithm. In the past, Google search results were based on crowdsource relevance. So that's when people click on any given link when they type in a search. If they click on links, those most clicked links move them up in the ranking so that when you type in some keywords, up comes at the top of the Google search that one that gets the most clicks. That's called crowdsourcing search. Well, that's gone. They've taken that away. Traditionally, if you produced unique and high quality content that matched what people were looking for, you got rewarded by ranking now at the top of the search results. And pretty much any subject related to health, Mercola.com was the go-to with the search results on just about everything. He's written 1 million articles over a very long time. He's built up a great reputation online for giving quality information. So this is no longer the case. Google is now manually lowering the ranking of anything that they deem as undesirable content, largely based on, get this, remember earlier I talked about the Jimmy Rants where Wikipedia has removed and blacklisted a lot of us in the keto space? Guess what? The undesirable content is largely based on Wikipedia's assessment of the author or the website. That's right. So the down regulation, the down side of Wikipedia now blacklisting so many of us from Wikipedia, which happened many months ago, did a Jimmy Rants about, it's now having an impact on this algorithm. They now deem all of us, because Wikipedia has deemed us irrelevant to the point of deleting our pages, they now have downplayed anything that has to do with those people that are no longer on Wikipedia. You don't have an author page, you don't have a website page on Wikipedia, they don't think you're important, they manually remove you as undesirable content. Are you mad? Are you getting mad? This is censorship, pure and simple. Wikipedia's founder and anonymous editors are well known to have extreme bias against all the natural health content and various authors. Google also contributes heavily to funding Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is near the top of all the searches, despite the anonymous aspect of contributors. Who better to trust than a bunch of unknown, unqualified contributors? Wikipedia's co-founder even admits that these bad actors have made it a broken system. So why would Google give such credibility to a platform that even its own founder says is broken and overrun with bad actors? So, one of the major changes was Google's 2019 Quality Rater Guidelines, and the guidelines go like this. Google hires quality raters, people who will visit various websites and evaluate their quality. Their feedback doesn't directly impact your site. It goes to engineers who then update the algorithm for Google in an effort to display great websites for their users. The guidelines give us great insight into what Google considers a quality web page. Can you see how subjective all of this is? It's not based on any real science or mathematics or anything. It's based on complete and utter bias against those of us that speak a language that runs counter to what the conventional wisdom is. If I did Livin' La Vida low fat and extolled the virtues of cutting fat in your diet for weight loss and eating lots of healthy whole grains and quinoa and kale and exercising on the treadmill, if I had a website like that, I would be ranked very high in the search engine because I'm right in line with conventional wisdom. But because it's called Livin' La Vida low carb, and I talk about eating more fat and less carbs and not eating grains, blacklisted. Disgusting, right? Google now buries expert views that they deem as harmful to the public. There's been a lot of talk about author expertise when it comes to the quality rater guidelines. This section has been changed substantially. If the purpose of the page is harmful, then expertise doesn't matter. It should be rated lowest. So the question becomes, who deems what is harmful? Who decides what is harmful content? I think any content that promotes a carbohydrate-based diet where you're consuming in excess of 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates a day, that is harmful. Yet those are the ones that are getting glorified. The ones that are talking about less than 100 grams, or dare say it, a ketogenic diet or carnivore diet. Ugh. Suddenly, those are the ones that are causing the most harm. Google used to rank pages based on whether an author could prove their expertise based on how many people visited a page or the number of reputable sites that link to that page, but that is no more. Again, if you're just joining us, you need to know about this. This is breaking news that should be front page and at the lead story of every single news outlet out there, but it's not. You're not going to hear anything about this except here today on Jimmy Rants. There is a new Google search algorithm that has blacklisted some of your favorite alternative health voices and advocates that are out there. Jimmy Moore is one of those. So if you like the content that I provide, obviously you guys follow me in the day-to-day and you're here and you see this, but if somebody does a keyword search and they're trying to find information of an alternative viewpoint that runs counter to what the mainstream of health says, you're not going to find it anymore. It's as if we don't exist. So unless you already know about our work, you're not going to be able to find it. As you may have noticed, we've stayed on top of this, even creating a peer review panel of medical and scientific experts that review, edit, and approve most articles before they're published. This is in addition to my own medical expertise. This is Dr. Joseph Mercola talking as a board-certified physician. My articles are all fully referenced. Most of them contain dozens of references to studies published in peer-reviewed scientific literature. None of that matters. Not anymore. The very fact that the information I present typically contradicts all of the industry propaganda places me now in the lowest possible rating category. So, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but you get the gist, guys. This is censorship at its deepest, and it started with Wikipedia, and because Wikipedia has made those of us, some of us, that they don't agree with when it comes to our views on cholesterol and why we deny cholesterol as this big issue in your health. They've now blacklisted us there. We're no longer even having a page on there. And because of that, the algorithm for Google has now changed to prevent you, the consumer, when you're looking for quality information with some of this alternative viewpoints on pretty much any aspect of health, you can't find it anymore. And how many of you actually found my work, Dr. Mercola's work, Mark Sisson's work, any of these guys talking alternative health, how many of you found them, us, as a direct result of doing a Google search? I'm almost curious now on a Google search, typing in the word keto, what are you going to find? Are you going to find a bunch of negative stuff? I haven't done that, by the way, but I wonder if you're going to find all the negative stuff about keto. Is this their way of controlling the narrative? Is this their way of suppressing the alternative viewpoint? I don't know how they're going to do it. And of course, there are alternatives. Bing, Yahoo, there are other search engines, and you use those search engines, you still get all the old results that you used to. So we're still ranked very high on those. It may take a mass exodus of people using the Google search bar for them to come to their senses. But these people seem to be very deep-seated ideologues. I don't know how you change an ideologue. All right. So here is a key word in that article about the algorithm change. If the purpose of the page is harmful, then expertise doesn't matter. Remember, we mentioned that earlier. So in other words, if a page is deemed harmful to the public, it gets the lowest possible rating regardless of the expertise. So someone could have an MD, a PhD, a DO. None of that matters. None of that matters if they deem it as harmful, no matter if there's expertise involved. And if pages don't vanish automatically in the new algorithm, quality raters will go in and manually manipulate all of the crowdsourced relevance to bury the page. In other words, if they see a Jimmy Moore article at the top of the rankings and they notice it for any given keyword, they will go in and take out that ranking, and it just drops to page 27 in the Google search. And it might as well be in 2,730 million if it's on page 27. Nobody clicks that far in a Google search. You look at the first few pages and you find what you need and you move on. You're not going to find it. Just what might Google and its industrial, government, military allies deem as harmful? In short, pretty much anything that prevents any differing views from the public relations created by their allies. And that most certainly includes anything that is related to alternative and holistic health, and articles revealing any of the truths about toxic industries like the drug and vaccine industries. So Mercola.com is one of the biggest losers in this algorithm, along with other natural health websites, as well as Vimeo, a direct competitor to Google's YouTube video platform. Google notes that raters should conduct research on the reputation of the website or the creator of the main content. Wikipedia articles can help you learn about those companies, will include information specific to their reputation, such as awards, recognition, also controversies and issues. If a news-styled website has a poor reputation, factors on their site should correlate with what Google is trying to push down in the search results. Google is undoubtedly one of the largest, clearest monopolies in the world. The company monopolizes several different markets, including search engines and advertising. Bing is the next closest competitor. It only has 2% of the market. Google has 90% of the market. Can you imagine how much they would crap their pants, Google, if people stopped using Google and they started using Bing and they started using Yahoo instead? Google also controls, get this guys, 60% of the global advertising revenue on the internet. So you go on any given website, and those little ads that are all on any given website, most of that's coming from Google. So with this core algorithm update, Google's very effectively preventing a majority of people worldwide from learning about how to protect and support their health, which is nothing short of an attack on your civil liberties and your right to pursue the best health and happiness that you can. It's disgusting, guys. And as a content provider, as someone who provides a whole lot of quality content here on Jimmy Rants, in podcast form, in blog posts, they don't want you to find us. And it's got to make you wonder why. What is the modus operandi? Now, of course, the easy answer is money, money, money. It's got to be more than that. Do they really believe that all of us in the alternative health space are causing harm? If we're causing harm, where are the bodies? Where are the sick people? Last time I checked, people that go keto reverse their sickness and get better. Last time I checked, people aren't showing up dead in the streets because they eat a low-carb, high-fat diet. They're actually going to their doctor and confounding said doctor when they tell them they're eating 75% fat in their diet and minimizing their carbs. People's lives are changed for the better. And yet if you talk to these Google algorithm guys, they'll tell you that we're all the devil. We're all the enemy. We're all the ones that are causing harm, when it's just the opposite. The technology giant has injected itself even deeper into our day-to-day lives. Childhood education, Android phones, patented meat substitutes. Remember, they're the guys that are behind the Beyond Meat burgers. And the healthcare industry. Google's internet monopoly, combined with its creepy personal information tracking and sharing, poses a very unique threat to public health, privacy, and well-being. Anyone that's concerned about their health, food, or environment and their ability to obtain truthful information about any of those issues needs to understand this role that Google plays and whose side Google is really on. It's not your side. Newsflash, it's not you. They don't give a rip about you. They give a rip about their own agenda and about their own interests. All right, let's see. I'm going to skip forward again. All right, yeah, a lot of this is like who's behind that. All right, Google is not an independent actor in this censorship. While some argue that Google, being a private company, has the right to do what it wants, even if that means creating an algorithm that censors important and relevant news information while manually burying things that they deem as undesirable to protect the profits of its advertisers and other financial stakeholders. However, being one of the biggest monopolies in the world, one could argue Google has really become like a utility. Think about your gas service, your water, your electric utilities, and as such, they have a responsibility to the people. In fact, last year, U.S. Representative Steve King out of Iowa suggested that Google and Facebook be turned into and regulated as a public utility. Now, I'm generally not a fan of the government being involved in regulation, but maybe in this instance, it wouldn't be such a bad idea, because right now there's no oversight. They do have the right to make all these changes, whether you like them or not. So if you want to find an answer on the web, what do? You Google it. You don't just search, you Google it. We've now turned Google into an action verb. Here, I'll go Google that. We don't say we go Bing that. We don't say we go Yahoo that. We say we Google it. Google worked for many years to earn that trust, but it was setting you up for a trap to twist that trust into a powerful control over your life. Unfortunately, even if such an idea, talking about making it a utility, public utility, were to gain traction, it has not. It still wouldn't solve the problem. Google is not acting independently. They're rather merely fulfilling a role within a much larger complex that includes the U.S. government, military, and national security apparatus, as well as several of the wealthiest and most powerful industries on the planet. All of these partners have a vested interest in censoring any information that is addressed by alternative health people online on a daily basis. Information relating to non-drug options. Can you imagine the money coming to Google from pharmaceutical companies? All right, you shut that keto talk up. You tell them to stop, and you need to shut them up. I don't care what you have to do. Silence the voices that are telling people to stop taking a statin drug, because we need the profits from the statins. You see how this is working? That's exactly what's happening. And big food, they are feeling the pinch. Oh my gosh, people have stopped buying Twinkies. They're not buying Coca-Cola like they used to. Here's some money. Shut them up, Google, please. Don't doubt me on this. This is happening. The reason so many of us are coming under attack and having things like this Google algorithm to change the way people find information is not by accident. It's happening, you guys. Google's latest core algorithm update and quality rater guidelines bury all of this good information, favoring instead information relayed by sites that are either part of the industrial, technological, military, government complex, or that peddle the desiring talking points they want you to hear. It doesn't matter if those of us in the alternative health space are reporting on and referencing publicly available peer-reviewed research, or if we have a whole panel of medical and scientific experts reviewing the information, because the science highlighted is the science industry. It's what they don't want you to see. Few are ever going to take the time to dig up all these studies, even though they're readily available, and thus, by censoring websites like Mercola.com and other ones like him, the task of social engineering is significantly simplified. In other words, remove the competition. Take it away. Cut their legs off from underneath them, and that's exactly what they've done to Mercola.com, to Dr. Kelly Brogan, to Jimmy Moore, to other people out there promoting alternative health. We shouldn't stand for this. I hope you write to your congressman, your senator, and you let them know this cannot stand. This is bad. The information I share about GMO, pesticides, junk food, fake meat, artificial sweeteners, and other additives are prime targets for censorship, for the simple reason that when you take control of your health, they lose control over you. Man, what a powerful sentence that is. So many of you have been so grateful that you've been able to take back control of your own health. And the way you did that was you learned thanks to doing a Google search. thanks to looking up information on your own. You now know better, so now you do better. And by being informed, you take their power over you away from them. It's not good. So what can you do? So this isn't new that Google has been extremely biased. The algorithm is the only thing that's changed. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for everyone, and now more than ever, we got to work together to share this information with others by word of mouth. So if you love Jimmy Moore and the Jimmy Rants and Living La Vida Low Carb Show and all the work that I do, please tell people about it. Tell them how to directly access all this information, because otherwise they're not going to find it in a Google search. Now, hopefully we get people away from using Google, and that's one of the recommendations that Dr. McCullough says. Hey, let's push people to go to other search engines, Yahoo, Bing, and all the others. So I think that was it as far as what they shared in here. Yeah, so you can boycott Google by avoiding any and all Google products. Don't use the Google search engines. Use DuckDuckGo, Start Page, Bing, or Yahoo. Uninstall Google Chrome and use Brave or Opera browser instead. If you're a Mac user, you can use Safari. It's available for all computers and mobile devices, the Brave and Opera browser. Opera is far superior to Chrome for security. It also offers a free virtual private network to further preserve your privacy there. If you have a Gmail account, try a non-Google email service like Proton Mail. It's an encrypted email service out of Switzerland. Stop using Google Docs. Digital Trends has published an article suggesting a number of alternatives. And if you're a high school student, do not convert the Google accounts you created as a student into your personal account. And there's a brand new petition that's been put out there called Don't Be Evil. So look up Don't Be Evil petition created by Citizens Against Monopoly. So guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is, yes, Google has created a new algorithm purposely blacklisting some of your favorite alternative health voices. And it seems like the health and the news industries are the ones that have been hit the hardest by this. And you need to know about this. Please spread the word. When you hear about this kind of stuff, I hope you share, because this is the only way other people are going to know. So when this goes up on YouTube, go find it, Jimmy Rants. Just type in Jimmy Rants Google, and you should be able to find this particular article, this particular Jimmy Rants video, and share it with your friends and family that they may not know. They may not realize what's going on. And the more people that realize and the more people that switch over from using Google as their source of information, we need to start binging things. We need to start Yahooing things. Yahoo! Instead of Googling things. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. How you like 3 episodes of Jimmy Rants in one day? You're welcome. Jesse says, hey, Jimmy, I'm sitting here in Austin, Texas. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Yes, going to be at KetoCon tomorrow, so cannot wait to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Keto Q Nutrition says, what do you think about keto recipe blogs with the search engines? Yeah, I mean, if there are recipes that promote a ketogenic approach, I think they would be a target. It's going to be interesting to watch it, because this algorithm kicked in and very quickly blacklisted a lot of us. Very quickly made a lot of us have rankings here, and then just totally killed our traffic. Now, it's not going to shut any of us up. We're still going to do the work, but we sure do rely heavily on that Google reference traffic to bring us the new people. K9 Coach says, this is BS. Yeah. It is. Brittany says, I mean, exactly. Keto Island, Simon says this has happened to him too. 90% less traffic now. Interesting. Brittany says, at the risk of sounding like a government conspiracy theorist, I swear they are trying to control the information we get therefore controlling us. Hey, this ain't the first time. And if we think this ain't happening in other sectors like elections, if we think that's not already happening, guys, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. But the health and news industry are the ones getting hit the hardest by this. Alberto says, I've been following the Google controversy, and it started in the political realm with political correctness, and now it's moving to health. They're playing the role of publisher, which has been, or while having a platform, exactly. Simon says, I first found you Googling how to work out what blood ketone numbers meant. You can't find that info anymore. Not just doing a cursory Google search. Maybe that's our project, guys. Maybe you go on Google, and I dare you to try to find some of our people by doing basic searches of various terms. What do blood ketone readings mean? See what you find. Might be interesting, especially since they're trying to boost those ones that basically make fun of the people that they've now censored. Alberto says publishers are regulated with different laws from platforms. Yep, that they are. D-Bay says, can we find this article on his website? Yes, so if you go on mercola.com, mercola.com, it should be the top article. When I printed this out, it just says story at a glance. That's not the name of the article, but it should say something about Google algorithm, and it should be towards the top of his page at mercola.com, mercola.com. Alberto says a publishing house is liable for the content published like news media, a platform like Facebook, Google, and YouTube. No, but government is considering changing their status to publisher so that they could be liable. I think that probably would be an interesting idea. I'd love to see what would be the ramifications of that. Lone Star Keto Girl, this is ridiculous. They must be feeling the pressure. I have been talking about that all year. The fact that all of these negative studies that are all epidemiological studies and not real studies have been coming out this year tells me they're running scared. And if you have to go to the point of censoring information just simply based on the fact that you disagree with it, guys, that's next level scared. That's next level fear. And if we're having that big of an impact, good. It means people are actually changing their behavior. And we've seen diet trends come and go, health trends come and go. But if this is the thing that breaks the camel's back, that makes them go back crap crazy in their head and pull this kind of stunt, this is good in that aspect. It's not so good in the short term because they are censoring us. Alberto says DuckDuckGo.com is a nice alternative search engine. It's not manipulated, and there are apps for the phone. Yeah, that was one of the ones Dr. Mercola mentioned in his article. Karen says, time to stop using Google. That's a good response to this, Karen. Lone Star Keto says, pretty mad. Yeah, we all are. Alberto says they are blocking almost anything they say it must be offensive to others. They slowly transitioned a few months ago from political correctness to health. Thanks to the vegans, they're not blocking any vegans. And that's really interesting to me because a lot of the vegan message is also somewhat out of the mainstream. It's more mainstream, I suppose, than those of us that promote keto or carnivore. But yeah. And to me, it's so asinine. Vegans make up such a very minuscule portion of society, maybe 2%. That's being judicious. And yet they have that kind of power? Apparently. Keto Island, Simon said, my stats went from 6,000 views a month to less than 1,000. That's a huge drop. Alberto says Google also manipulates the recommendations while typing on the search box. Yeah, when you start typing a keyword in Google, it automatically gives you recommendations just based on as you're typing in. So he's saying that's now manipulated as well. Brittany says, I could talk for days about this subject, but I stay quiet and mind my own business because some of these topics can get you some serious backlash. Well, especially the vaccines one, that's such a controversial one. And that's a big part of why some of these have been blacklisted, is they're really trying to scrub the web of anybody that's anti-vaccine. And I'm not taking a position on that. I'm just stating that's the controversy that's out there. Cholesterol is another big one, that they don't like you talking about cholesterol not being an enemy in your health. They have predicated an entire industry of drugs, statins, based on high cholesterol being a thing when it's not a thing. So I do take a position on that one. Jesse says, I use Bing. Why not? I've been irritated with Google forever and a day anyhow. Thanks for giving me the good reason to move over. Thank you, Jimmy and Dr. Joe. You're welcome. Google's also trying to control elections. Yeah, Anita, that's the thing that people don't want to believe, is that this isn't just a health thing. Health is definitely where we're feeling it, and it's what I talk about here, but it's in a lot of other aspects of our lives as well. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Laura. Happy to share. Google has the advantage of the name, the rest don't. Yeah, Alberto, Google has the distinction like Kleenex. Here, go get me a Kleenex, or Coke. Go get me a Coke. When you say those things, do you literally mean the name brand? No, but the name brand's what you know. It's become synonymous with whatever that broad category is. So soda is a Coke. A tissue is a Kleenex. And when you search online, you Google it. You don't Bing it. Keto is a freedom tool for the people. Unfortunately, JC, that freedom is being taken away. Alberto says, search for Project Veritas. Yes, Project Veritas is interesting. In the recent controversy, they uploaded a hidden camera of a Google employee telling what they want to control. YouTube deleted the video yesterday. Oh, I found it. I saw that one. It's really, really fascinating. Hashtag Google collusion. Yes. So guys, hopefully this was eye-opening for you. I do wish this was front page news. I do wish this led all of the news media on television. This needs to be breaking news that Google has deliberately changed their algorithm to blacklist alternative health advocates. And you should be mad. You should rise up. You should want to do something. So what do? Stop using Google. Stop using anything affiliated with Google. Don't. Switch over to alternatives. There are so many alternatives to literally everything Google does that you don't got to rely on them anymore. So don't. And support the people that are sharing the alternative health message. So people like me, Dr. Joe Mercola, Dr. Kelly Brogan's another one been targeted, but really all of us that are talking alternative viewpoints on health. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Don't let them fall into typing in Dr. Google and then not finding us. And then they're like, well, I didn't find anything on the web about keto, so it must not be important anymore. You see how that works? All right, I'm done. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content. You got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like all these people did here today. Thank you guys for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, though, it does disappear. So be sure to check it out over on YouTube. Type in a keyword search, Jimmy Rants. Hopefully they don't delete my account over on YouTube. Does Google own YouTube? Yes, they do. Uh-oh. You won't be able to find Jimmy Rants soon. I'm just kidding. Then the best of the best moments of this here show, it's in podcast form. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast over on Apple Podcast as well as Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at jimmyrants.com. Lone Star Keto Girl, see you tomorrow. Yes, you will. So if you're in Austin, Texas this weekend for KetoCon, you better darn well come up to Jimmy Moore and say hello. I'm going to give you a big old hug. And let's have a good time, guys, this weekend. I will have a book signing Thursday night. As of the recording of this, tomorrow night, right now, is when the book signing will be going on. And me and Dr. Ken Berry will be having a great time with you guys there in Austin, Texas. So, guys, until next time, we'll see you then.